My name is Jason, and this is Just Watches. Alright, today we're reviewing the Casio MTP-V005D-3B. They don't make those easy, do they? Before we jump into the review, I just want to invite you, if you're enjoying the content of this channel, please subscribe. And if you like the content of this individual video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Alright, so this one caught my eye while I was just endlessly looking for watches, an affliction many of you may be familiar with, and I just really liked the dial on it. It's this really cool light teal color, and it was really affordable, so I decided I'd pick it up and check it out and review it for the channel. So as always, we'll do specifications, pros, cons, and then if I think this watch is worth the money. So starting with the case, we have a 40 millimeter case diameter. It's 47 millimeters lug to lug. It's quite thin. It's only 8.5 millimeters thick, and then it has a 20 millimeter lug width. Now the case is all high polish throughout, and there is like a slight chamfer transition on the edge between the top and the side there, but everything is just totally high polish on this watch, which is fine at this price point. You don't really expect mixed surfaces between the sides of the case itself. Now, this is not the bracelet that it came with. The bracelet is one of the weak points. It did come on this bracelet, which is just kind of a 3-link style. It's all brushed. It just has these tabs that you have to push out for sizing. I hate bracelets like this, to be honest, but this is what you get at this price point. There are 4 micro positions, and there's no safety catch or anything. You just pull on here. It's just stamped metal here, and then the end links are hollow. I just immediately took it off this bracelet. I kind of have built up a collection of straps and stuff like that, and so I just wanted to put it on this Milanese bracelet. I thought it kind of was cool, dressed it up a little bit. This is a Watch Gecko strap. I've gotten a number of straps from them. I do recommend them. Maybe I'll do a review on their straps sometime in the future, but I just took it off that. It's one of the weak points of the watch. I don't really like the bracelet you get on it, but it's kind of to be expected at this price point. And then flipping it over, you just have a snap-in back. There's some information around there. Casio, this is 30 meters of water resistant and has the module number. So this is going to be powered by the module 5361. It's a quartz movement. It's plus or minus 20 seconds per month. So obviously you get good accuracy with a quartz movement, and it has a 3-year battery life. Now it does have an audible tick, but it's not deafening, but you'll definitely hear it in a quiet room, which is sometimes the downside with some of these less expensive quartz movements. Now the crown is just a push-pull crown. It's not signed or anything, but it's functional. You know, it serves its purpose on this watch. And then the crystal here is just mineral glass, which is what you would expect at this price point. But the star of the show is really this dial. It's this really cool sunburst effect, teal green, and it looks different in different lights, and I think they just have a real simple dial. I like what they did here. It's all just printed on. You have the Roman numerals at the 12 and the 6, dashes for the rest of the hours, and then you have a nice railroad track going around the edge that designates each of the minutes, and then you do have the 5, 10, 15 at some of the indices to indicate the minutes of the hour as well. The only downside on this dial itself is that it tends to wash out in certain lights and from certain angles. I don't know what it is, if it's the contrast between the white of the markings and the dial color, or if it just isn't applied in a way where it's significant enough to hold its own against bright light. But you can see kind of here that when the bright light hits it, and you'll see I have some outdoor shots and some full like sun shots, sometimes the markings just sort of wash out, and it makes the watch kind of hard to read. So it's kind of the major downside of the dial on this watch. I love the color, I love the sunburst effect, but for whatever reason, whatever they used for the markings just doesn't seem to hold its own in all lighting conditions. For the hands, they went with these simple baton hands. They do have lume in the middle. The lume is not very good. It's not even really worth showing. And there's no lume on the rest of the watch, so you can't really tell where the hands are pointing in, dark conditions. I would have liked to see the minute hand be a little longer to reach all the way to that railroad track, but the hands look okay. I think they're proportionate to the dial. And then the registration on the second hand is very good. It's hitting each of those indices almost spot on, which is something you don't always see in some of the less expensive quartz models, and even some of the more expensive quartz models, to be honest. But it's nice to see that we have good registration on this particular model. So there it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. You can see 40 millimeter case diameter and 47 millimeter lug to lug. It's basically going to be in that sweet spot where it's going to be able to accommodate wrists much larger and smaller than my own. And I just thought it was kind of fun to put it on this kind of Milanese style or maybe shark mesh bracelet, just for fun. I think it looks kind of cool on there. So that's it really for this watch. It's a pretty simple quartz, 3-hand only. You just have a simple dial, no date. I think for the pros, obviously it's very inexpensive. I think I got this for about $25 on eBay. I really like the color. I think it's a great fun color. And then it's very slim. You know, it's always nice when a watch is slim like that because it just wears comfortably and it looks really flush and nice on the wrist. The cons is the bracelet. You know, you're getting a bracelet at this price point is nice in the first place, but you just have to save money somewhere. And I just don't really like the bracelets where they use those push tabs. It makes it difficult to size, and it's just not a very nice bracelet overall. So it's not super comfortable to wear. It's really jingly. So I just would just consider that if you're going to get this model, that you're probably going to use a different bracelet. And I honestly think this would look way better maybe on like a leather strap. The other negative is that the markings on the dial, like kind of what I show here, they just kind of wash out too easily. And so in conclusion, like, is this worth the money? I think if you like the styling of it, it can be, but I can't really recommend it. There's something about the markings on the dial. If they were more prominent in various lighting conditions, I think this would be a really fun, inexpensive, colorful piece. But as it is, I don't know, there's something about it. It really takes away from the whole experience of the watch. Especially if you get it in person, it just something feels off about the way that they printed the dial. So I think as fun as this color is and as inexpensive and approachable as this piece is, I'm just going to say a pass on this one from me. But if you're drawn to it, you know, it's not that expensive and it could be fun. I think if you dress it up on especially like a brown leather strap, it's pretty versatile. And I think they kind of nailed the layout of the dial. It's just very simple. I kind of like the Roman numerals at the 12 and the 6. So it's kind of hit and miss for me. So there you have it. That's just a quick review of the Casio MTP-V005D-3B. So these can be, you know, found everywhere. I think they're on Amazon, eBay, quite inexpensive, but probably a pass from me unless you're really drawn to the dial color. I just can't really get over the way the markings are on the dial on this watch. All right, I'll leave it there. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, I invite you to subscribe. And as always, if you like the content of this video, give it a thumbs up. See you next time.